Frack on to an episode of Frack The Canon. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. This is the spoiler episode to Spider-Man No Way Home. Again, spoiler episode. If you have not watched it, please stop right here, go back, watch it again. Watch it here. All right, so again, I am joined by Sara Bennett.
Hello.
And Raymen. Raymen, I don't know your last name. If you want to say, give your last name.
It's Alien. It's Alien. You just switch the letters around.
Okay, all righty. I'm gonna use that when I do my lower thirds. All righty. Let's all just nerd the hell out of this one. What were your favorite moments about this movie? Like, it's out here. The rumors were true. They denied it, but the rumors were true. Toby and Andrew did show up. How did you guys feel about that? Raymen, we'll start with you.
3 Spider-Man, I loved it. I loved, like, it was a way for the stupid Sony fractured movies to finally, like, come together in my heart. And I was like, I love this. Like, I hate the multiverse. I fully confess I hate multiverses. I feel like they are a loophole where people don't die and, like, you can get away with anything. And that nothing's permanent, but like then seeing them together, I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, and they were like the older, wiser Spider-Man for like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. They were like we got you, son. Like it was like I kind of wish it had been more like a what if episode instead of like a mainstream thing, but that's just me hating multiverses. But yeah, I liked it.
So because you're not a DC fan and all, the DC's full of multiverses. I
am struggling with the DC shows right now. I'm like, can we just murder some of these people? Like if Flash dies and that whole thing just ends and then it just becomes Legends of Tomorrow only, like that's great because they don't even care. Like they'll mess up the whole time. Anyway, that's a whole that's a tangent.
Another rant.
Yeah.
All right, Raymen, what were you? How did you feel about this?
I loved every second of it. One of my favorite parts, like the most comedic part, was when Andrew Garfield stepped through the portal.
Yes,
100%. I didn't know it was Andrew Garfield at first until he stepped through because his costume from far away, everyone can tell like the distinct like features of like how some of them look. Like with like Andrew Garfield's, like the red part is like a T.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And the rest is blue and it has that very distinct like bluish color. But when everyone was cheering, I was like, oh, that's Tom Holland. And then he came through and I was like, oh, he's so much taller. Wait a minute, that's Andrew Garfield.
Oh, that was cool. That was cool. Like I love those moments. I love the interaction between the three of them, like between Peter, Toby, Andrew, and Tom. I'm like, this is freaking cool. Like when they're talking about his web shooters. Like, how does that come out of you? Like, are you making fun of me? No. We just can't do that. We just want to know how it works. Like, that was dope. That one scene where they're running and the swinging together, I'm like, this is awesome.
The swinging part at the end on the Statue of Liberty. Did you see the part where who was it? One of the Spider-Man like shot it towards them and they kind of like whiplashed each other to go faster?
I didn't see that. Oh my god, I'm gonna go see it again because it's just like I need to see it again because I don't know why I'm so conflicted by this movie. Like I love the action stuff, I love the comic stuff, I love Willem Dafoe. I'm gonna jump to it right now. Willem Dafoe, the Green Goblin. Willem Dafoe is why I love the Green Goblin. Like his performance. Like when I was a little kid, when I first came out, I came out laughing. Going, think about it, Spider-Man. Like I just love his voice so much. I love that actor so much. I'm like, so William Dafoe killed it to me. I'm like, everyone loves Doc Ock. Everyone loves everyone. I'm like, nah. To me, Dafoe is my dude. The Green Goblin is my guy. What about you guys? Who's your favorite villain in this movie?
Ooh, that's a hard question. You stumped us, René.
I mean, mine's Green Goblin, like I said.
I don't know. Like I never really had like a favorite Spider-Man villain, so it was never like, ooh, they're back now. I really did more like them bringing back the Spider-Men. It was fun to see. Like I must admit, like the Tobey Maguire villains are a little bit closer to my heart because those were like, you know, when I was younger, those were the Spider-Man movies that were out. So like the Doc Ock, Green Goblin were really cool. Though I'm also bummed, like, where's James Franco? Like,
I think he's canceled.
I know, but it'd be so fun to just have him there. Like, though I think it would have messed up some of the emotional journey for the Willem Dafoe character, because he'd be like, oh, my son's right here, he's fine. Like, but
they referenced that in the movie though, that he died.
Yeah, but they all die. So like,
That's true.
so this is one of the problems I had with this thing. It's like,
Same.
How do dead people come back? And then how do you decide it? Like, why isn't Gwen Stacy there? Like, why isn't MJ there? Like, I'm like, and then the other thing that bugged me the whole time is that like you're trying to fix these guys, and I'm like, and then send them back. And I'm like, when are you sending them back? Like, when they're still alive? Some of them are dead. Like,
well, exactly. That was my issue too. That I was talking with another friend. I'm like, what issue? What happens when you send them back? Are they gonna go back to the moment they died? Because eventually they're still gonna die fighting Spider-Man, no matter what, right? So that's why I'm like, there's gotta be. That's why I'm like, I was talking to CJ about this. I'm like, what is the urgency of MCU Peter Parker to cure them? Like, why does he need to cure them? Like, yeah, it's Peter Parker with a great power comes great responsibility, which we'll talk about that later. But I'm like, okay, yeah, but why this one? You know, like, yeah, that's the trademark of Peter Parker. But what happens if he fails? Like, there's no consequence if he fails, right?
Yeah. Well, and like, as I said, like, I'm still confused about when they're going back. And then also, if you do cure them and then they get better and they don't like have their fight with Spider-Man, do Tobey Maguire and Andy Garfield's characters become who they are? Like, would like Spider-Man be the same if Gwen Stacy never dies? Like, I it's just so weird to me. This is why I hate multiverses, because like it's too complicated and makes no sense. It's like time travel.
That was my issue too. I'm like, all right, you're not very clear with the rules about time travel or multiverses. Raymen, what did you think about this whole thing?
I 100% like when they're sending them back in that whole, if they send them back into their time period of when they were taken out, because where they got Tobey Maguire was way basically like present time.
Tobey
Maguire. And then when they got Doc Ock, they got him right before or right after the train fight. Somewhere around that area, I think. So they're cherry picking where they want, cherry picking the characters of where they came from. So if they're sending them back, does that mean the third act of the second movie of the Tobey Maguire film didn't happen anymore? Is what popped in my head.
This is where my issue was. Like, I guess Multiverse of Madness, it makes sense, but I'm like, wrong movie. But I'm like, like that's my issue too. I'm like, all right. So again, I'm like, okay, why does Peter need to save him? Like, did they say why he needs to save him? Because it's the right thing to do. Yeah, but what happens if he fails? Did they ever answer that? What happens if he fails?
Well, I think nothing. Like, things just happen how they would happen.
So I'm like,
but like at the same time, like, why are you curing them and send them back to the instant they die? Like,
exactly.
It's very
because
confusing.
like what Dr. Strange said when he said there's infinite universes of all this happening, and if their destiny is to die, then their destiny is to die. If he changes one, there's still an infinite amount where they die.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So that brings another problem, is like, if there's infinite multiverses, like, why were there only 3 Spider-Man? Like, I mean, I hate tearing it apart, because I love what they did. Like, they melded my world back together, like all my splintered Spider-Man, but like, I'm just like, the way they did it does not make as much logical sense as it should.
Agreed. I agree. I'm like, wait, what? But okay, so for me, watching this movie, it clarified who my favorite Spider-Man was. All right, Raymen, what's your favorite Spider-Man out of the three that we've seen? What was your favorite Spider-Man?
Growing up, it was Tobey Maguire,
Mhm.
but I had a Spider-Man marathon before seeing the movie,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna lie, I really like Andrew Garfield, and to have him with his amazing performance in No Way Home, I like him even more.
All right, Sarah, what about you?
I mean, I love Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3 doing his stupid Venom dance. And I don't think I could ever change my mind. Like, unless Tom Holland does like get taken over by Venom and does like little dances, like I don't know. I still love Tobey Maguire. Like he just cracks me up.
I hate that movie so much. So much. I was in film school when that came out, and I remember throwing popcorn at the screen. I'm like, this is stupid.
You just gotta laugh. It's so funny. Like I don't, you probably won't like it when you go back, because I'm doing the same thing with Deep Space Nine right now, which I know is your favorite, and I just watch it. I'm like, the acting's bad, the story's bad, like the sets are bad, and
you got it.
But I know you love it. But like, see, that's the same thing for me with Spider-Man 3. Is like I can watch it and I'm like, James Franco gets clotheslined, like it's hilarious. And
First of all, all right, fair enough. But first of all, Star Trek acting is just bad. Period. It's low budget sci-fi. Second,
no. Next Gen had good acting. Deep Space Nine is painful. I'm like 6 episodes in, and I'm like, I don't remember it being this bad.
It's not. For sure, we'll do another episode. We'll do another Star Trek episode next time. But to me, watching this movie, I'm like, Tobey Maguire was the one we saw first, and then Andrew Garfield. I remember thinking Andrew Garfield was cool. I remember thinking Tobey Maguire is a good Peter Parker, but a lame Spider-Man. What are the jokes?
I agree. I know where you're going with this.
I thought Andrew Garfield was too sexy and too cool for a Peter Parker, but an amazing Spider-Man.
An amazing Spider-Man.
Exactly, right? Because he made the jokes and everything, but he was too cool, too sexy for Peter Parker. Like Tom Holland was the perfect one. But then watching all three of these, I'm like, all right,
both.
exactly the perfect book. He's the match of both. But watching this one, I'm like, Andrew Garfield's my favorite. Andrew Garfield is my favorite Spider-Man. Like he was just okay. I don't know. There's something about his Spider-Man that's just sexy. You know, just I don't know what it is, but like I think Andrew Garfield is my favorite Spidey out of the 3 live action Spider-Mans.
I mean, I think he is the hottest one out of all 3 actors. So
that's why he doesn't make a good Peter Parker. There's no way. Peter Parker's supposed to get bullied. There's no way someone who looks like that and acts like that gets bullied.
Exactly. He's too sexy. He's too cool. I'm like, Peter Parker would never, ever ride a skateboard. Ever.
That's why Tobey Maguire makes an amazing Peter Parker.
Right. Exactly. Tom Holland just the perfect balance. What was I gonna say? Again, the plot holes again we're talking about in the non-spoiler review. Was like the plot was like Electro not knowing. So supposedly when they brought him in, everyone who knew who Peter Parker was came back. But I'm like, Electro didn't know. Venom didn't know. Who else didn't know?
do they not know? Well, I guess Electro kind of dies, but like Venom might find out in the future. But then you still have the weird thing of like, what point in his timeline does he get sucked into this other universe? It's
the only thing that comes to mind is that there's a line. It's a kind of a line at they're saying they're the hive mind mentality in the multiverse. That's the only thing that saved it for me. I'm like, in the future, whatever, in the multiverses, one of them knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Mhm.
But I'm like,
but Electro, when he saw Andrew Garfield, he said, "Oh, I thought you were gonna be black." Hence saying that he never saw who Peter Parker was, or figured out that Spider-Man was Peter Parker.
Yeah, did he even know that Spider-Man was Peter Parker? He didn't even know that, did he?
Nope.
Yeah, it's weird. And I'm still upset they didn't bring the ladies over. Like, they knew who Peter Parker was. MJ knows.
I would have loved to have seen that, but
it would have been cool. But again, I think it would have messed some things up. Because as I said, if they brought back Gwen Stacy, there'd be problems with Andrew Garfield being like, well,
like, I went through all of this trauma.
Yeah. Well, and you have that amazing moment where he gets to save MJ. And I think that would have been a little less I mean, that was his moment where he could fix, you know, something that he wished he could fix. But I think if Gwen Stacy was there, that would be a whole other like side plot line there.
Right. I don't have any more topics I want to talk about. I'm all.
I have one more thing.
Yeah,
So would it have been weird to have Miles Morales somehow appear? Like, would he have to be animated? Like, I was watching it the whole time, just hoping for suddenly like this little animated Spider-Man to be like, "Hey guys!" But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I would have loved that, but I would have loved it. But here, I wanted a live action Miles. I wanted a real Spider-Verse. Like, I wanted them to bring in.
I think it was the first. I think it was Homecoming. Do you remember when Donald Glover?
Oh yeah,
his nephew is Miles Morales.
The other night you told that dude, if you're gonna shoot somebody, shoot me. It's pretty ballsy. I don't want those weapons in this neighborhood. I got a nephew who live here.
Yeah,
so he's already in the MCU. He's just the mantle just he's never been bit yet.
Passed on yet? Yeah.
Yeah.
He is referenced. He does exist in the MCU.
Yeah, but his multiverse, like, I feel like could have still crossed over. Like, so the Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse could have come, but again, like, I don't know if it would have been weird if they would have unanimated him or if he would have to be animated in this world where there's no, I don't know.
What about any final comments, any final thoughts, Raymen?
All of Doc Ock's scene. I actually really liked all of his, like the beginning fight scene. I think it was in the start of Act 2 or end of Act 1. That whole part was so amazing because in hearing what happened for like, you know, like the CGI and the props used in like Spider-Man 2, the tentacles were they were puppeteers. They were puppeteers. And to know that in this one they were just all CGI, so the freedom that they could do with the arms was just amazing to see, like in theaters.
That was cool. That was dope. To me, Defoe stole it. Defoe is like, this is why I love Defoe, because that's why I love the Green Goblin, because I want to just, oh my God, Defoe was amazing. I just I'm sorry.
That fight scene that they had, the first fight scene, the one in the
apartment where he's just like punching him, and he's like, "Yep, that was insane." I guess I'm gonna go see it again probably this week after Ghostbusters. I don't know, but I loved it. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for being part of this. Hope you guys had fun. Will you join us again, Raymen?
Oh yeah, of course.
Good. I'm glad you. All right. Cool. Sarah, okay. Sarah, go to see you again. Hopefully, we'll see you soon, Sarah.
Hopefully. Yeah.
All righty. Well, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Raymen, for joining me. Thank you for nerding out with this one. Hopefully, we'll do it again. We'll see you same fracking time, same fracking channel. Frack off.